Okay, we are recording. And it's just about the top of the hour. So do you want, is it okay if you want to start us off a bit, and then I'll jump in when you're done?
Yeah, most definitely. First off, I want to welcome everybody to today's webinar. This is Eli Delaney, and Lou and I have been friends for a few years ago. I actually was on his list many, many years ago. I found out from him through Michael Port, and have paid attention to his stuff for quite a while. And then I had the opportunity to meet Lou a couple of years ago. Was that InfusionCon 2 years ago or 3 years?
Yeah, a couple years ago. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so we sat down, had a good time visiting with each other, and then we found out that we had a mutual friend, Therese, in common. Mm-hmm. And so from there, we've gotten to be really good friends. He is my go-to video guy, the guy that I always recommend when it comes to video marketing stuff. And Lou, go ahead and tell everybody, kind of give people your background so they can kind of know where you came from and how you got into this stuff, because I know you've got a pretty cool background story.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go full screen in a moment, but for now I'll skip to my cheat slide, my little logo slide. Right. I actually came from the TV business. My dad was in TV for many years, and I followed in his footsteps and worked on the East Coast on TV stations. Then I moved to LA and worked for E and Fox and some other cool places on the left coast. And then came back here to New Hampshire in a moment of insanity. And I've been doing video marketing ever since.
Very cool, and you've got a really cool story. I mean, the fact you are from the old school stuff and totally embrace the online video. You were pretty much one of the first to get into it. That's one of the reasons why I love everything that you put out, and you make it fun. I mean, that's really the big things I know, and that's some of the stuff I know that you're going to talk about today. Is the fact that a lot of people are still afraid of getting on video. They're still not sure what to do, and they think it has to be complicated and scary, and they have to have all this fancy, expensive equipment, all that kind of stuff. And I know you've broken it down really well. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shut up, and I'm going to let you run the show from here, because I know you've got a lot of content to cover in the time we've got together today.
Cool, and feel free to jump in anytime. If the line gets noisy, I'll mute things, but otherwise I'll just run through here and tell you about the good news that it is much easier than you may anticipate for video. So let me pull up the full screen here and get going. So I want to talk a little bit about unleashing your video creativity. Still getting a little echo, so I may just mute here to be on the safe side.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and mute me out, because
I will unmute you towards the end so we can chat again. But for now, let's just have we'll try and have a clean recording and forge ahead. So yeah, I want to talk a little bit about tapping into your creative genius. A lot of folks may think they're not creative, but I think everyone can find some creativity in them when they need to. And I want to show you some really cool ways to deliver your message visually. I'm going to show you some tools that are free that you can use to make your posts on Facebook a lot more compelling. And I'm also going to show you some ways to create those really cool sketch cartoon videos. And the nice thing about that is you don't have to be on camera, and you don't have to have a whole lot of software. And then I'll talk a little bit about cranking out consistent video content, because I think it's great to do one video, but it's much more powerful to do videos fairly consistently. And then I'll show you some new video creation tools and shortcuts. So in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to cram as many ideas and resources as I can. And then at the end, I'll tell you, if you want to learn more, I'll tell you about a way that you can learn even more with a video course. But for the time being, I'm going to give you as much content as I can cram into 45 minutes. So I mentioned at the start of the call that my background is television and television marketing and branding, but I've been doing the online stuff since pretty much the same time as YouTube, which is only 7 or 8 years. and have been working as a branding consultant and a marketing consultant. And my tool of choice, I guess you would say, is online video. The great thing about video, what it's done for me and can do really for anyone, is it really increases your visibility. And Eli mentioned that, you know, we met each other a couple years ago at a conference, and a lot of times when I go to things like that, when I see people I know, they say, "Oh my God, I see you everywhere. How do you do it? You seem like you're always online and always showing up places." And I'll give you the secret to that in a moment, but that's one of the nice things about video. The other thing is it can build your credibility and really enhance your expert status probably more quickly than anything else. I mean, you can blog for years, you can write articles, but you know, if you're able to crank out a bunch of really good videos, you can do that very, very quickly. And of course, profitability is the other one, which is very important. You can attract more and better clients with video. It also creates opportunities. It wasn't until I started doing video and getting my videos out there that I was getting invited to panels and speaking gigs and approached by joint venture partners and things like that. And finally, personality, which is really just a great way to build your know, like, and trust factor. So that's kind of what it's done for me, and it can absolutely do that for you. And in the next few minutes, we'll show you how to do that. First, I just want to give kind of an overview about creativity in general, because a lot of people don't get into video because they think they need to be creative, or they think they're not that creative, or that, you know, right brain, left brain, whatever. But there's a few things you can do to spur your creativity, and I made them all T words because I love alliteration. And the first one is just to team up or find a creative partner to brainstorm with. It makes brainstorming and makes being creative so much easier when you have somebody to bounce things off of. So team up with somebody and have a brainstorming session, and you'll see how your creativity will start to flow. Another method is just to time it, and I have to do this because I have pretty serious adult ADD, and I have to set a timer and say, for the next 15 minutes or the next 20 minutes, I'm just going to hunker down and work on this and jot down all my ideas, no matter how crazy they may sound. So you can set a timer and just commit to doing it. Another way is to sort of tough it out and just decide that you're going to dive in and do the work and, you know, hunker down and get it done. I have this problem with my 14-year-old son, who is not, he also has a short attention span like me, and doesn't like to do homework. So I always have to tell him he's got to tough it out, dive in, do the work, and just get it done. Another way is to templatize, or to start with a template or model. It's easier to be creative when you've got a guide or something to go by. So a lot of times when I'm using video, I'll use different resources, some of which I'll show you, that basically start it for you. They give you a template to work with, and that makes it so much easier. And finally, the other way to be creative is just to sort of put your own take on it, explain your own unique take on the topic. You know, there may be tons of coaches or chiropractors or whatever out there, but there's only you doing it your way with your unique take. So those are just a few ideas to get creative. The other thing about video and creativity in general is to start thinking visually. And this is really important because I think it's the first step to doing video. If you can start to think visually and start to think about pictures and graphics, that's really the next step, is video. And the other reason it's important to turn your ideas and your content into images is because social media loves images, Facebook and Pinterest in particular. So a lot of times now you'll see, you know, I think Facebook is really driven by images and by quotes and pictures and, you know, funny things that people post. And obviously the same is true for Pinterest, because that's why Pinterest was created, as an online scrapbook basically. But when you use images on Pinterest or Facebook or wherever, they're a lot more fun and engaging and shareable online. In addition, when you add photos to your blog, it gives you some SEO benefits. And as I said before, it's really sort of the first step towards creating video content because eventually you can take images and turn them into videos. So I want to show you a couple of the free tools that I use to create images for Facebook and Pinterest and other social media sites. And I guess you'd call them graphic posts or photo posts, but I'm sure you've seen them quite a bit on Facebook with quotes and different quips and sayings and things like that. And don't worry about writing these down because I'm going to go through them each one individually. And the first one is called ReciteThis.com. And recite this, as they say here, is a way to turn your quote into a graphic. And all you need to do is type in your saying, your quote, your tip, whatever you want to say, and you can use their templates and graphics to do that in a fun and visual way. And the other cool thing about Recite This is you can, once you've got your little saying there, like I just put a cool way to create graphics on this particular one, you can post it immediately to Tumblr, Pinterest, StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter. You can download the image to use it later. And I've been using this quite a bit because what I'm doing is I'm taking quotes or tips, like I'll do a series of video tips, and they're very short so they're conducive to this kind of a format. And I'll just type them into Recite This and use different fonts and different backgrounds. They have all kinds of different things to give you. And I'll use those on Facebook. I'll just post them, once or twice a day. I'll put my saying on Facebook. And these get shared a lot more than just a plain old text quote. So check out ReciteThis.com. It's free. It's a way to turn your words into graphics. Another site that does essentially the same thing is called pinwords.com. Obviously, this was created with Pinterest in mind. And the difference here is that you can use your own photos and overlay words or text on top of them. So you can take a photo that you have and add your own saying or words or quote on top of that photo. And then you can upload it to Pinterest or Facebook or really any of the other social media sites. So very easy to use. It's free. It's a way to turn your images into graphics with sayings. So that's a fun one as well. Another one is called shareasimage.com. They have a free version and they have a pro version, which is $6.99, so it's very affordable. This one is used mostly for quotes, as you can see in the screenshot. You can type your quote and pick a background and pick a font, and then once you've got your text inside the quote, you can share it on Pinterest, Facebook, or Twitter. I'm just going to pop over here to the here we go, to the dashboard to make sure that you can still see my screen and hear my voice. And do me a favor and just type in the chat box or the question box that yes, you can see the screen, because I don't want to go all the way through the presentation without you being able to see the screen. Yay, thanks, Deidre. That would be bad. So I like to just check in every now and then and make sure that I'm not flying blind, as it were. Okay, so we'll get back to this. Share as image, as I mentioned. Nice way to put colorful quotes on Facebook. And believe me, these really pop off of Facebook more than just a plain old quote. So if you like to put inspirational quotes on Facebook, here's a way to do it to make it fun and colorful and engaging. Yet another tool to do essentially the same thing is called Pinstomatic.com. And obviously this was very closely related to Pinterest. And it's a way to post things on Pinterest and other sites and just add a graphic. They have all kinds of different ways. You can do quotes, you can do pictures, you can do graphics. You can do, if you have an event coming up, you can make a big calendar date kind of thing to emphasize that that's when your event is. So again, Pinstomatic is just a way to make things more interesting and engaging on Pinterest and social media. And last but not least, one of my favorites is called Quozio.com, Quozio.com. And this is another very simple way to take your quotes or tips or short phrases and turn them into graphics that you can then put on Pinterest or Facebook. So I do this a lot. I'll write tips or quotes or things like that. Here's one that says, there are plenty of ways to make video even if you have a face for radio. So that's my little quote, and I'll post it on Facebook or Pinterest. And the neat thing about Quozio is if I don't like the way it looks, I can just go above to all the different thumbnails up there and pick a different format, a different background, a different font. So it gives you a ton of flexibility, again, free to use, and it's a neat way to take, maybe you're posting inspirational quotes. It's just a nice way to turn those into images, which are far more likely to be shared on Facebook and Pinterest and other places. So yeah, once you have images, you're sort of on your way to video, and again, it's just a way to make your existing content more compelling. So maybe you've got a series of 10 tips, 10 expert tips about your particular niche, and you could use Quozio or one of these sites to put those into graphic form. And the thing about content is, obviously you want to start with relevant, compelling content that your target market will be interested in. And then my philosophy is to really repurpose, and take the same content and use it on different platforms, have a print version, have a photo version, and have a video version if possible, and share those across multiple platforms. So what I try and do, and what seems to be a trend online, especially with social media, is to produce bite-sized content that's easy to share. So interesting little tips or quips or whatever that's easy to share, and that you can also share on multiple platforms. So what I mean by that is, if you have a written blog post, you want to make sure that you have something visual to represent that. So you've got a photo for your blog post, but the photo can be used on its own on Facebook or Pinterest, and that same content from the blog post can also be turned into a video, especially if it's just a quick blog post or a little tip. You can create it as a video, and now you've got 3 different kinds of content that can be repurposed and posted in different places. So I like to call it the wheel of content. And again, you start with a blog post, or this is what I typically do. I start with a written blog post. I post the image from that blog post to Facebook. I also post that photo to Pinterest. And this is all the same content, mind you. I'm just using different formats for the different platforms. Another resource that I like to use, if it's a PowerPoint or a PDF, is Slideshare.net. And Slideshare.net is a free service. I like to call it, YouTube for slideshows, basically. You can find lots of presentations there and things like that. And the thing that surprised me about Slideshare was earlier this week I posted a PowerPoint presentation. It wasn't narrated, it wasn't video, it was simply the slides from a presentation. And I looked back a couple of days ago, and lo and behold, it had 400 views. So there are people definitely on Slideshare looking for content, and it's a great place to get you more exposure. So finally, I'll take that same content and create a video and post it to YouTube. And if I really want to go crazy, I'll take that same video and post it back to my blog a week or so later, even though I had also done a written post on the same thing. So I'm really just repurposing as much of the same content as possible. So it's just a way to give old content new life. You can take the video tip that's on your blog and put the photo on Pinterest, put the slide on Slideshare, put the video on YouTube, and you're not having to create all kinds of new content for all these different places, but it does give you a way to kind of be everywhere at once. So now I want to jump into the 5 simple tools to help you make great video, as was advertised on this webinar. And again, don't feel like you have to write them down quickly or anything, because I'm going to go to each one individually. and show you some easy ways to make cool videos without having to learn expensive software, without having to even be on camera, which is what I like because I don't always like to be on camera. And I'll start with stupeflix.com, stupeflix.com. And Stupeflix is a lovely site. I believe it's either free or has a free trial. I think there's a free version and a pro version, but in either case, it's a way to create videos using photos and turning those videos into photo montages using Stupeflix themes that are pre-created. So you can take photos from Facebook or Flickr or upload them from your own computer, and basically what you do with Stupeflix is you take all those photos and put them into a timeline. So what you see in this slide on the above are the pictures that are in my Facebook account, so I can pull those directly from Facebook into my Stupeflix timeline. I can put a text slide at the beginning or the end. I can add music that Stupeflix provides, so I can add a soundtrack to it. So basically it's just turning a bunch of photos into a video montage. And I will typically do this for birthdays, holidays. Sometimes I'll do like a client appreciation video and pull pictures of my clients off of Facebook and do the montage that way. As I said, Stupeflix also has music, so you can see above they've got all these different music tracks that you can use to add to it. And the other cool thing about Stupeflix is if you don't like the way that your montage came out, you can just go to the right-hand column here where they have all these different styles, from scrapbook to blueprint to comics, and just pick a different style and the video will be recreated instantly in that new style. So these are very popular on Facebook. People obviously love to see themselves in videos and pictures. So I use this quite a bit to do photo montages. And again, it's fast, it's free, it doesn't involve a lot of software. You just go on the Stupeflix site, whether you're on a Mac or a PC, and you're good to go. You can create a very cool looking professional photo montage. I'm going to pop back over to the question box just to see if there are any questions coming in. Val's asking, do you have to be Stup to use Stupeflix? I don't know, they come up with the craziest names for these things, but Stupeflix is not really a stupid software. It's actually pretty smart and easy to use. So good to see you here, Val. Val's an old friend, and we will continue. So far, so good. We have Stupeflix. That's one resource that you can use. Another one that I like a lot is called Powtoon.com. Now, I know this one's free to start. There may be a fee after 30 days or something, but none of these are really that expensive. They're really all a lot less expensive than buying software like Camtasia, which is $300, or Final Cut Pro, which is $200 or $300. And with Powtoon, you can create animation, and it's really, as they say here, drag and drop simple, and you can create your own animations, your own stories, your own videos, just using the Powtoon site and software. And you've seen these videos. Some people call them sketch videos. Some people call them stop motion. Basically the hand comes up and puts a figure on the screen, and then the figure says something through a thought balloon. So basically you can take whatever characters you want from the many choices that they give you. On the right-hand side, you'll see different icons and characters. You can have those characters say certain phrases or expressions. You can put in thought balloons or whatever you type. Obviously, they will show up on the screen. And you really can tell a cool little engaging story and use it to promote your business or just for fun. And you can, again, use their characters. They've got different kinds of characters. I think I thought I had a slide of that here. But they have a lot of different kinds of characters and a lot of different kinds of styles and props and things like that that you can use to turn your basically a blank sheet into a video. And I do have the pricing here for Powtoon. So it starts for as little as $9 a month. So again, if you find that this is something fun, you do the 14-day trial and you get the hang of it and you like the way it looks, then you can start for as little as $9 a month. And again, you're able to use a lot of different styles. The videos look very professional. You can add music or voiceover, so it's got a lot of flexibility. And again, Powtoon is just a neat way to be able to start doing more video without having to have a big learning curve. So here on Powtoon, you see there's one of my characters, and I'm surrounding him with all these icons or props, and I typed, or somebody typed in, unless one, of course, is too busy, whatever you type basically will show up there. You can also add, as I mentioned, music or a soundtrack or even your own voice if you want to narrate your Powtoon. So lots of cool things to do with this, lots of characters. Up on the top, you can see where you can save it or send it somewhere. You can change the color of the text. You have a lot of control over what you put on the screen, from everything from the background to the characters to the props. So check out powtoon.com if you are interested in trying a video like that one. Another site that I use quite a bit is called GoAnimate.com, and again, they have a free version and a paid version, but even with the free version, you can do quite a lot. And basically, they give you all kinds of characters, and you type what you want the characters to say. So in this image here, I had these two balloons talking to each other, or basically saying happy birthday to somebody, and then I sent the video to someone for their birthday. So whatever you type, the characters will say, and it's not just balloon characters, there's others, as I'll show you in a moment. But the thing I like about GoAnimate.com is, as you can see on the bottom, they make it very easy to share your video. You can send it to Google+, you can like it on Facebook, you can upload it directly to YouTube, you can download it to your computer. So once you've sort of created your little masterpiece here, it's very, very easy to spread the video and share it. Here's another version of some of the characters that GoAnimate has. So you pick your characters, you pick your scene or background. You can see on the left they've got offices and living rooms and kitchens, and there's one at the White House. So you can basically determine where you want your characters to be, and then you have the characters speak to each other by typing in text. And it's so, they even go so far as to giving you like British accents and things like that if you don't want the characters to have typical American voices. So you can play with that, check it out, very, very easy to use, and very, well, it's free to get started, obviously. I think the way that they make their money is that if you want certain characters, or if you want, for the free version you get X amount, but for the paid version you get more scenes and more characters and more flexibility. So the way I use this is like I took these two characters and I basically had them doing a promo for me. They were talking about video marketing and go to Bortone.com and blah, blah, blah. And whatever I typed, these characters would say. And then it was done recording and I uploaded it to YouTube. And it was really that simple. I just picked my characters, gave them the script, and they did their thing. Apparently, judging from this photo, arms and legs must come with the paid version because these characters don't seem to have any arms or legs. But they still did the job, and it was free, which is always good. So that's GoAnimate.com. I also want to just mention, this isn't really a video resource, but I use it a lot for video because people ask me, where do you get music for your videos or for your photo montages, that you're not going to get in trouble for. You can't just, rip off a Coldplay song or, pull off the latest Beyonce song and use that on YouTube, or you will get a wrist slap at the very least. So I use a resource called AudioJunglenet because I can just type in the search box, I want something upbeat or I want something cinematic or dramatic, and it will give me all kinds of choices from anywhere from $4 to $18. So, very inexpensive and a great way to be able to just download the exact music that you want and use it for your video productions. So that question always comes up, so I just wanted to mention that's kind of my go-to source for music. Obviously there are many, many others, but I am partial to AudioJunglenet. So let's look at one other way to make videos here that's pretty easy and has become very, very popular. And this is called Video Scribe. And I'm sure you've seen these sketch videos where the hand comes on and draws the characters and draws the words. And this is done with a software called Video Scribe, produced by a company in the UK called Sparkle, which is S-P-A-R-K-O-L. So if you want to look at Video Scribe, you'd have to go to sparkle.com. And they have a free trial as well, and after that I think it's $130 or something to that effect. But again, they've got a ton of characters and scenes and props that you can use. In this case, I was fooling around and I said, are you stressed out because you think you need a ton of equipment to do video? And the hand came on and drew the stressed out guy and all the equipment. You can see on the upper left-hand side of the screen where you can add text, or you can add music, or you can add your own voice as a voiceover. So you basically put the scene together and the hand comes on and draws whatever you pick to go on screen. And it turns it into a little bit of a story. So I had the hand come on and draw looking for a way to stand out from the crowd, and had my superhero, and I added music to it. And you can even see here where the hand comes on and draws the screen. You can pick the hand, you can pick what they're writing with. You may decide, I'm a lefty, I want a left-handed person scribbling my images. And you can even decide how long you want the hand to take to draw the image. So you may say, okay, I want this to be a quick video, so I'm going to have the hand draw my image in 4 seconds or 5 seconds. You set all that, you control all that. And the other neat thing about Video Scribe is they've got a ton of images to choose from, and scenes and people and different characters. And again, basically anything you can think to draw, the hand will come on and draw for you. So it's just another way to tell a story, to create a video, to do a video promo, and you don't have to be on screen. You don't have to worry about being on camera. Video Scribe basically does most of the heavy lifting for you. So that's the company, again, is called Sparkle, SPARKOL.com, and that's where you find Video Scribe. I believe they have a free trial where you can kind of check it out and test it out and do your own videos that way. Again, I'll pop over to the question box just for 2 seconds to see if there's anything else coming in. I think we're all good so far. Cool. All right, we'll go back to the slides here. And let me give you one other resource that's video related, and this one's called videoblocks.com. And VideoBlocks is a resource to get video clips and sound effects and music for that matter. I always forget that they have music. But basically, if you were doing a video and for some reason you needed a clip of a New York skyline or a countryside or people walking in a crowd, you could go to videoblocks.com and just type that in, and dozens of options would come up for you to be able to purchase the clips. But the really cool thing about videoblocks.com is several times a year they have a special where you can get unlimited downloads for $99. So basically for $99 for the year, you can go in and download any one of their almost, I don't know, 7 million clips, I guess, that they have. And you can just find what you need, whether it's an effect or whether it's a video clip or of a particular image. You can go in there and use that and find that for video footage. And they also have music and sound effects. So I have to remember that my subscription expires in the fall, so I have to go in there and download as much as I can. So you can really create quite a cool video library with Video Blocks. Let me take a quick drink of water and we'll jump to the next one. Yet another way to create videos without being on camera is called CommonCraft. And these are really just, I think they're called CommonCraft videos because this company sort of set the tone for these cutout videos. And it's similar to Video Scribe, but slightly different in that these are really more like cutouts that you place on screen, or that the software places on screen. And you can create your own video stories or your own what they call explanation videos using CommonCraft.com. And they've got a huge library of pre-done images, so you can have male characters, female characters, household objects, buildings, whatever you may need. You can go to their library and download the images to create your story. And if you need more than just those particular images, they've also got some pre-made videos that you can get as well in different categories such as technology, social media, society, etc. So some of the videos are actually done for you. And CommonCraft starts at just $59 a year, and that gives you access to their digital library of 800 CommonCraft cutouts to use in your presentations and videos. You can go up to $99 or even $199 per year if you use it extensively, or if you find that you need more bells and whistles. But either way, even with the lower price plan, it's just a way to make really cool presentations and videos using their cutouts so that you don't have to be an artist. So that's 5, as we promised, but I want to over-deliver, so I want to give you a few sort of really cutting-edge new video sites that I haven't even dug into that yet. I've just sort of discovered them fairly recently, and some of them are kind of cool. You may have some use for some of them, so I'll pop right in here. And the first one is called Popcornmaker, and it's made by Mozilla, the same people who do Firefox. And they've got kind of a long name here, popcorn.webmaker.org. But this is another free resource, and basically it's a way to take existing videos and do sort of a mashup of existing videos. So as they say, you can enhance, remix, and share web video, and you can use your web browser to combine video and audio content from the rest of the web, whether that's links or text or maps or pictures or anything. So it's really kind of a way to do all kinds of cool overlays and mashups of existing content on the web. So in this case, there was a TED Talk, and you can see below is what they call the timeline. You can add photos or text or captions or Twitter kind of things. So I added a picture of my son pitching in baseball, which has absolutely nothing to do with the TED Talk, but I was just fooling around with the software to see what you could do with it. And again, it's a way to take existing content and sort of make it your own with captions and text and photos, etc. So Popcornmaker is kind of a cool tool to get in and experiment with videos. On the right-hand side, you can see that you can add text or pop-ups or maps. I guess if you were doing a video about if you have a brick and mortar location, you could add a map overlay like that. You can add images. So just another fun way to play and experiment with video. And again, you can't break it, so you don't have to worry about that. There's no software to break. It's just another tool to try and to experiment for video. Another cool tool is called Galahad, and this one has a really ridiculously long URL, but if you search Galahad video on Google, you'll find this resource. And basically, they call it an immersive video player and builder tool, because what you can do is create interactive videos that let your friends or fans affect the outcome of the video as they watch it. So it's truly interactive. Basically, you create videos and you create paths in those videos that allow the viewer to determine which way it goes. So I haven't quite figured out the business application for this yet, but I can imagine that there are definitely things that you can do. You know, if you want this type of product, go here. If you want that type of product, go there. But basically, you can create a timeline or storyline and give the viewer choices about how a scene ends or how the movie ends or where to go at a particular point. So again, just really kind of a cutting-edge tool and another way that to give you a sense of where video is going, in that it is becoming much more interactive and much more user-based. Another site and tool that I like to use because it's so easy is called Quickie, Q-W-I-K-I. And they call it one-tap storytelling, but what it does basically is it takes pictures and videos from your iPhone and turns them into quick little short movies. So if you took a bunch of photos of your camping trip recently and you had a handful of those on your iPhone, you could go to Quickie, and Quickie would turn those into a instant photo video montage with really one click. So it kind of creates your movie for you based on a group of pictures on your phone. There's another resource that a lot of folks are using called Vine, which is very similar, and I know my kids use it, so maybe it's a little more teen-oriented, but it's a way to create instant movies on your phone. So if you have an iPhone, I'm not sure if it's available on Android, but it's definitely on iPhone, check out Quickie.com and turn your photos into movies. And yet another resource that's really cool and cutting edge is called Wibbitz.com, W-I-B-B-I-T-Z.com. And what Wibbitz does is it takes your text blog post, or really any text, and turns it into a short video. What it says here is it's a text-to-video platform that can automatically turn any text-based article, post, or feed into a short video. I have no idea how it does this, but I entered a blog post that I wrote, and it came up with this video. It's a picture of me dressed up as Moses from a long time ago when I was doing the 10 Commandments of video. Somehow it decided what photo, decided what text, and turned a regular blog post into a visual-driven video. And they even give you the embed code to add it to your website or blog if you prefer. So again, this is just another way to, if you say, I don't want to do video, it's like, okay, well, go to your blog post and plug it into Wibbitz and see what Wibbitz comes up with for a video. So there's really kind of no excuse not to do video with all of these resources. One last resource, last but not least, and this is actually a suite of resources, and it's called CreazaEducation.com, C-R-E-A-Z-A. And this was really initially done for educators and teachers as a resource for them, but it can absolutely be used in business because they, again, give you a suite of tools. You can create cartoons, they give you a movie editor, an audio editor, a mind map editor. So basically you can drag and drop your characters or your scenarios on screen and create a story. So the cartoonist tool is one line to do that, to create online comics. And you can see here somebody's put all the Gorbachev and Fidel Castro and all that other stuff into a video. So just again, a way to turn to create stories into videos using existing footage and animation that you don't have to come up with. So even though it's for initially for education, there are ways you can use it to create your own videos. And one of the things that I like about Creaza is it also has a mind mapping tool that's very visually oriented, and a really cool way to take a typical mind map and add pictures or add YouTube clips or add sounds, export pictures and formats. So it's just a way to sort of bring your mind map to life. And that is Creaza Education. And again, hopefully I've showed you a ton of ways to tap into video. I don't expect you to do all of them, but it should give you at least some ideas to get your creative juices flowing. And before we wrap up and go to questions, I want to unmute Eli and jump back into the end here and tell you.
All right. Talk about awesome stuff. You just threw a whole ton of stuff out there.
Yes, there's lots and lots of things to do, and I have even more. Here's a picture of my kid diving to home plate because, again, the thing I think video has done for me is given me the freedom and flexibility to be able to go to my kids' activities and really create my own schedule. So let me go back to, before I tell you more, I'm going to go back here and mute one more time just so we have a clean recording, and I'll unmute you in a moment, Eli, but before we do that, I want to let you know how you can learn more about video if you're interested, if you like what you've seen here. It's just the tip of the iceberg. So here's what I have. My most popular training is called Video Marketing Bootcamp, and it's a home study course that's getting rave reviews, and it's really sort of a soup to nuts video startup course. So it's 4 modules of simple step-by-step training, and you can watch and learn at your own pace. There's no pressure. Oh my gosh, I didn't finish this week's assignment. You sort of do it as you want to go, and you get all the webinar recordings, which are 4 modules, recorded webinars that are about 45 minutes to an hour long. And with that, you also get bonus checklists and templates and storyboard samples, all the tools that you would need to really start to become a video ninja. And typically I sell this for $297. For this webinar and for folks on this webinar, I have marked it down to $197. So it's, and I believe you can even do payments, 2 payments for that too. So it's just a great way to get started with video. That's at loubortone.com/bootcamp. And here's what it will do for you. It helps you to get over the video hurdle so that you can market your business more effectively. It allows you to sort of add some sizzle to your sales because video can become your 24/7 salesperson. This actually happened to me this week. I woke up to an order. Somebody had purchased something, and I followed up and I said, you know, how did you hear about this? And they said, I saw one of your videos last night. So while I was sleeping, somebody was watching a video and buying something, which is a beautiful thing. This, again, will skyrocket your visibility with some easy video distribution techniques. We didn't get into that here, but within the course I talk about video distribution. I also talk about tips and tricks for getting comfortable on camera, which can be a challenge for some folks, myself included, because we didn't, again, you know, we talked a lot about off-camera videos. The course talks a lot as well about on-camera videos. And we show you even more new ways to create professional videos in minutes using free software. So you can learn easy video marketing techniques so that you're not left behind, and you can become known as the go-to person in your niche by using these powerful video strategies. It's a great way to attract more clients by using videos that engage your ideal audience. I don't think anyone can argue that video is really engaging and has become a great way to reach out to people and make that personal connection. So here's what some folks have said about it, which is nice of them. What I do a lot in the course is I go to the actual websites and demonstrate and show you live what I'm talking about. So if it's something about YouTube, I'll go to YouTube and show that as I'm doing the webinar. And a lot of folks spoke very highly of it, and hope you'll consider it. It is at loubortone.com/bootcamp, $197 for the folks on this webinar, and it's a self-study 4-hour training course. So let me unmute Eli here. Sorry, we'll go back up here. And give me a moment here. Oops, what? It's not letting me. Trying to unmute you, but bear with me. Oh, I see what I did wrong. There we go. Sorry about that, Eli.
Hey, no problem at all. All right, Lou, this was awesome stuff. And for everybody listening, I'm going to tell you, I've known Lou for a long time. I've seen what he's done. You know, towards the beginning, or when he was talking about the Moses videos, that's actually when I first originally got introduced to you. And I remember those, and they were hilarious. They were very, very entertaining, and that's the whole point about using video, honestly. is you got to get it out there. In today's world, you need to be using video on your, on your world for your marketing, because it's not going away. It is, I remember, not even that long ago when Facebook was an option. Now it's not. Well, video is
Right.
that way as well, And I remember back in the day when a website was still an option, and now it's not, So video is something you should definitely do. And one thing I really want to put out there is that Lou gave you a lot of really great resources today, but don't get overwhelmed by them. Go
Right.
play with them, find ones that you like, and try one. If you like it, stick with it. If you don't like it, move on to the next one. Don't try to do everything. And then, of
No, there's
course,
too many options. But
yeah,
you'll find the one that speaks to you. And I mean, like even though I try and give people as many options as possible, you're going to find the one that you like the best. Like for me, I like doing PowerPoint slideshows and narrating them. That's just how I prefer to present. So everybody has their own preference.
Yeah, same here, and I'm the same way. But I'm looking at doing some of the video Scribe stuff, and so then when I get to it, I'll play with it, and if I like it, I'll do more of it, and if I don't like it, I'll move on and try something else. But don't try to do everything with it. And of course, one really important thing is if you want to get some hand-holding on this, I can guarantee that